Whataburger over In-N-Out. Let's go.
No. In-N-Out, 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 In-N-Out. Always over Whataburger. Hey y'all.
Hey guys.
I'm Becca.
I'm Jordan.
Welcome back to another Girl Yap episode.
We're back in action.
We're rolling pretty good with these episodes.
We are. We're getting them done. We're taking care of business and we're having fun doing it.
Taking care of it.
Every night.
So today we want to do kind of another fun topic like the bucket poll. We had fun talking about the PDA last episode, but we thought, why not get a little controversial?
Yeah, let's hit it kind of hard here.
So today we're going to be talking about our unpopular or controversial opinions on random topics that Jordan and I spent time thinking about over the last 24 hours.
Yeah, we just wanted to kind of hit you guys with two easy ones and then maybe we come in hard on a third one. So we're just warming you guys up. We're at the hard stuff now.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's wipe them out. Whop them out. Whip them out.
A moist wipe.
Why
moist
is the
wipe.
bartender group chat bothering me right now?
Okay.
All right. You want to go first? One of yours?
Yeah, so these are some unpopular opinions that I wrote down, but I feel so deeply. And
there's like a lot of fuzz going on in my
blew
face
that into
right
my
now.
drink straw.
Sorry. Okay.
It's fine. Okay. Well, I would like to first start off with one that's just a cult classic, Die Hard. Okay. Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Die Hard, the movie, you would categorize as a Christmas movie.
Yes. Just great to watch around Christmas. A lot of action. Just Christmas movie. I don't know why, but it's just what you watch around Christmas.
I can agree, but I think my unpopular opinion is I don't like the Die Hard movies.
Oh,
me and Jamie got into this a couple weeks ago. Wasn't it Die Hard movies?
No, it was Lethal Weapon.
Oh, I don't like those either. I just don't really, I mean, they're there.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're fine, but I just don't really have a stance on either one of them.
The movies that actually, really suck are like the Bourne movies. Like Bourne
Jason
Identity,
Bourne?
Jason Bourne,
That's fair. I don't like any of
there's
those
a lot
either.
of them. They keep just coming on, and
They're kind of like the Fast and Furious movies where it just keeps happening again and again and again.
And they're like herpes; they just don't go away. It just doesn't go away.
Just doesn't go away. Well,
all right, Becca, what you got?
On par with the movie theme, as a goth identifying person, I cannot stand The Nightmare Before Christmas. I think it's because when someone sees you like, oh, you're a goth, they'll just be like, you must love The Nightmare Before Christmas. And I actually don't. I think it's just the go-to for family members or people you don't really know. It used to happen to me a lot at Secret Santas amongst work. If someone pulled me in a Secret Santa, they would just get me Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. And again, I appreciate the thought, but I do, just because I'm a goth person does not mean I need Nightmare Before Christmas shit.
It's just because you wear chapstick does not mean you need a crochet chapstick holder.
It's exactly
lanyard.
It's exactly the same thing.
It's exactly the same thing.
It really is.
I don't have a lot to comment because actually, don't kill me for this one. I've never watched Nightmare Before Christmas, but I know about it. I know about the hype that people say. Just have never watched it really.
I feel like Nightmare Before Christmas is fun for Disney people that they want around Halloween time, because people also consider it a Halloween movie as well as a Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that around Halloween time they really love, Disney people love hyping up Nightmare Before Christmas, which is great for them.
Right.
But please, no thank you.
But it's not great for Becca.
It's not great for me. What's
It's
another
not great for Becca. Well,
nice one that we have before we get into the
a nice one. Okay. Heelys. Let's talk about it. Heelys that were built into the bottom of the shoe. that you somehow pop your ankle or something up or whatever you do, and then those things just attract, like just go out like, plane wheels. But when you pop your foot up, they just get out there and then you're just zooming.
Yeah.
They aren't cool. When I was in middle school and high school, I'm not going to reveal my age, but yeah, no, they were not cool.
I so disagree. I think Heelys are fucking sick. Okay. They make me, you know why? Because they make me giggle whenever I see someone just like bust out the Heelys.
It's just like we're in 2024 now, though. Because if you're wearing Heelys, like, you're funny.
It's still so, yeah, it makes me giggle because I'm just like, they really don't give a fuck. Like, I've seen people like walking down the sidewalk, all of a sudden like bust out the Heelys and just start like going down. And I'm like, that's honestly fucking hilarious.
It's not that I don't have respect for you if you do wear Heelys. I mean, you're a fucking gangster. But I do think that it's just now was not the time. And I was talking to Becca about this before. Everybody knows the hoverboards that were like connected in the middle and you can like kind of move your feet and that's how you like steer it. Well, now they have ones that are disconnected. So they go on each foot and it's literally like a platform that you just put your foot on and then you just can go that way instead of having that middle connector, which
I haven't seen those. So I'm not like,
if you're still zooting on that in front of me, good job, dude.
I think Heelys are hilarious. I think they would always be a funny bit. Like anytime anyone busts out Heelys, it's just, you just have to giggle.
Comment down below if you want to see me and Becca whip out some Heelys and do a race around Whiskey Baron Bar.
I'm not doing that. I'm going to eat
Comment down below.
I'm going to eat shit.
We will be wearing helmets.
I also have a similar shoe one.
Sure.
This one I think is going to ruffle a lot of feathers in our kind of community that we're in. But I hate Hey Dudes. I think they are some of the worst shoes that I've ever taken over a fashion industry.
I agree.
Here's my thing though, is that I think that Hey Dudes on girls can look really cute. And I think like some of the prints for girls are cute. I think they can be cute. But when I see them on a dude out in public, I'm kind of like, ugh.
And if you come to a country bar ready to dance and you're in Hey Dudes,
I think there's a time and place for Hey Dudes.
Sure.
I think like even
I can't
like,
hate on you because like a lot of my friends wear Hey Dudes, but I mean, don't think they're appealing.
I mean, my dad's sitting in the room and he wears Hey Dudes, and I actually
right now
don't
he's wearing
like
them right now.
He is actually wearing a pair of Hey Dudes right now. I think there is a time and place like this with Dave wearing Hey Dudes right now. It's kind of like, yeah, okay, like that's fine because we're just
they're
like
cash.
we're recording, we're just hanging out. If people are like running errands real quick, okay, I can
Airport,
see it.
flying,
Sure,
comfortable,
sure, ish. But when like people wear them, like I've seen girls on TikToks be like, oh, me and my husband are getting ready for a date. Here's our outfit. And she like looks really nice and he's wearing like jeans and Hey Dudes. And I'm kind of like, really? You don't have like, to me, they're just the y'all version of Crocs. And like I have a pair of Crocs, but I strictly wear them for post shift shoes. Like after I've been in cowboy boots for the last 10 hours,
yeah,
I'll take off my boots and put on my pair of Crocs, but I don't wear them intentionally. Like
they're just a very casual shoe.
And that's what I think about Hey Dudes. I think they're casual, and I don't think that they should be a whole personality trait. I really don't.
They really shouldn't be part of your fashion.
Yeah.
Other than it's a chill day. We're going to go run some errands or, catch a flight and we're running in the airport or whatever, you know, comfortable.
That's what I think. What is one of your more controversial opinions?
Okay, let's get into it. The Menendez brothers. Trending right now all over the internet. Netflix just came out, I think, with 2 series. I just finished watching Monsters, and then apparently there's one where they actually go in and one.
They don't go in, but the Menendez brothers do interviews over the phone.
Okay.
With the producers of the new documentary.
And that's something I need to catch up on
for
sure.
Definitely.
But I want to say they are or they aren't sociopaths, but I want to leave that open because we can get into it.
Yeah. I mean, what's
Okay.
your opinion on them? Are they or are they not?
Gosh, I am very in the middle, and that's where I stand.
Mm-hmm.
I am very in the middle. Do I think they could have ran away? Do I think they could have fled? Do I think their parents had a lot of money or valuable items and they could have taken them and sold them somewhere or something? Yes. And made some money on the backhand and then, But there also comes a fact of like the will. Were they going to be in the will? That was like $18 million or something, millions of dollars. But, also it is kind of revenge in the same sense that you're seeing in the Netflix series, where after so many years of alleged abuse, they couldn't take it anymore. It was revenge. And this is where I leave it open. Where they are or aren't is what's going on right now in the media is, were they actually abused? And that's what they're looking into. And things over the years that they've been in prison are starting to come out now. Stories and evidence that they were actually abused.
Yeah.
So that's why I leave it open, because I do think partially they are sociopaths, but I think that there were triggers that kind of push them, or how do you feel?
I think, first of all, I think the term sociopath gets thrown around too much when people in like the true crime kind of realm. I don't think many people are actually sociopaths or psychopaths or anything like that. I think that it's just a term that's like overly used. So I wouldn't classify them as necessarily sociopaths, because the definition of sociopath is so extensive that I don't think that like they would classify under sociopath first.
Many different categories.
Second, because if you just look at someone who murders somebody, you don't go around calling them a sociopath.
Yeah.
They're a bad person because they killed somebody,
Sure.
but you don't automatically call them a sociopath. So I think that's
you don't know
where,
their story. You
right.
Don't know.
So I think that's where I think this word gets thrown around too much. Second, the Monsters documentary on Netflix, as great as the acting was in that, I give lots of props to the actors in that. The director, I think, demonized the brothers in a way that was not necessary. I think the weird underlining tone of like the brothers being in love and that kind of thing was completely unnecessary. And that's something that the director has gotten a lot of pushback for, along with other documentaries he's done where he's covers stuff like this. He did the Jeffrey Dahmer one and he got a lot of pushback for that too, because there are just some weird underlining things that I think the Monsters documentary hurt the Menendez brothers' chances of appeal more than it helped them, because
to the public eye, for sure.
Yes, for sure. And I also think that, I know you said that why couldn't they run away, or why couldn't they like pawn something? As someone who myself, I've experienced stuff where my safety is constantly questioned because of another person. Even if I were to run away, I'm still worried about that safety, because running away doesn't mean that you're like hidden.
You're not covered up. And
right.
I would say that I would agree.
Yeah. So I think that's something that like people say that, but it's like, yeah, but like, where are they running away to? Okay, they're still stealing money. So then people would still be like, oh, you stole money and ran away. Now, they did still kill their parents. So I do still think, obviously, there should be a consequence because they killed their parents and then lied about it.
Sure.
So that's obviously an issue. I'm not saying that like that part's okay. It's still an issue. They still killed somebody, 2 people. They still lied about it. That's an issue. But I think that their abuse from their father was overlooked because there were 2 boys talking about sexual assault. And I think that when men say that they've been sexually assaulted, people don't believe them.
Yeah, and there's a portion in that documentary, or in that series, I don't, where Eric is talking to the attorney. I forget her name, the lady with the blonde hair. And he was like, what is the jury doing? Why are we, half and half, a split vote on the first trial that they went to? And she looked at him and she said, blame the men.
Yeah.
Blame the men. I do think it is a little bit harder for some people. It's hard for me to speak on because everybody's grown up in all different households and stuff. But I do agree that that's why I wanted to leave it open, because I can't speak on could they have just run away. It's a question for sure that sits out there. But when you are a victim of, abuse in any way and stuff, it is harder to escape from that world.
It is. And I think that,
and even if you do, you're like, am I still going to be found in some way?
Yeah.
The fear resides there.
Yeah. And I think, obviously that like I said, they still murdered people and they still did something wrong, but they've been in prison for what, 20?
I think it's 30 years.
30 years at this point, whereas people who've done similar things have served their time and gotten out and gotten a chance to like rehabilitate themselves. I mean, Gypsy Rose is a huge example. Now, she didn't do the act of killing her mom, but her boyfriend did, and she was part of planning it. And Gypsy Rose got out of prison and everyone was like obsessed with her. Like, she became like
she's a star now.
A star again.
She's a star now
because she got out. So I just think that because there's always been this stigma, especially when the Menendez brothers case was going on, there's been this stigma of men and sexual assault, that it doesn't happen, that was why they were in there for so long.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was also hard because if you watch a portion of that, after that first trial, and it was a split trial, this lady stayed behind and talked to the lawyer lady with the blonde hair. And she was like, honestly, if you wanted to know why the men were split vote and a lot of people aren't on their side, is because they don't like you. And that was another one where it's like, whew.
That's like a whole different thing.
The lawyer, different levels on that. And I think it was very hard to follow because it wasn't very, hey, they killed their parents. And also there could have been some sexual, like it didn't just highlighted like everything around it, which I think some of it didn't need to be highlighted. Not everything in there.
Are you talking about in the documentary or in the case in general?
In the documentary, if you watch the Netflix series, which
I think some of it needed to be in there because it's really like, that's like one of the prime things, is that there was a lot of issues with their lawyer and how she was kind of viewed amongst the court.
It was like she was grooming them, and it was weird. There was a lot.
I don't know. I don't think she was at all. I think that
he was talking about how she was putting them in glasses and putting them in pastel colors.
I mean, all lawyers do that. I mean, that's the first thing a lawyer tells you when you are on trial for something, is you have to change how your image looks.
Yeah.
Because if you show up looking like a murderer, you're going to get charged as a murderer.
Yeah.
Now, if you show up looking a little more clean and put together and kind of like, I mean, it's worse with women who are on trial for murder. I mean, their lawyers will zhuzh them up to make them look like the most innocent, almost like a girl, not a woman, innocent person to step into that courtroom. Yeah. It's a tactic that, I mean, even when I've gone to court cases, even if I've never been on trial for anything, but that's just kind of how it is.
Sure.
So why don't you? Okay, here's my next one. I don't think it's a smart idea for people to have more than 4 kids in a family.
Yeah, this is something we were discussing earlier. Give us your side.
More than 4 kids. First of all, you guys can no longer fit in a vehicle unless you buy a 3-row vehicle. If you're just looking at a 4-door sedan, you can't fit in that because there's 2 parents, 4 kids. You now have to get a 3rd-row vehicle. Crazy to me. Second, I just think that from a lot of people that I know, when there are more than 4 kids in a family, the dynamic of the family is definitely different once everyone gets older. I think it's really emotionally tolling on kids to be having 5, 6, 8 siblings throughout their whole life.
Maybe they feel like they've gotten lost in the family.
I think that responsibilities get put on the older kids. The younger kids, in some cases, can end up being, more raised by their older siblings because mom and dad are working. I just think that it causes a lot of emotional trauma.
Yeah.
And you're just popping out kids. Like, why are we having so many kids? 4 is great. I personally would never do more than 2. I think 4 is like, all right,
we made it.
You now have a beach volleyball team. I think we can call it off.
We got a 2v2 here.
Yeah.
Let's get out.
Yeah.
I would, It's hard because I'm very family oriented with my family. We have a huge family, and I'm from the South. My mom's family is huge. Mom came from 6 sisters.
But how many of them do you talk to?
All of them.
Really? All of them?
Yeah.
All of your aunts you talk to?
Yes. Yeah. So our family's very huge, but we're also very close. Like our families and their siblings. So my cousins,
Yeah.
I'm even closer. But their moms are like, I would say my second mom, all of them. So I talk to all of my aunts. I do. I try to keep in touch as much as possible. It's hard because I am out here in Colorado and life gets busy, but we do keep in touch. We see each other every family reunion or get together, whatever it may be. We're very close, but I would say 2 kids is enough financially. So I'm going to look at this from the financial point, and it's expensive to have even 1 kid. It is formula, diapers, everything. So I would say 2 for me is good. 4 is a lot. You start running out of money. You start running out of space.
Yeah.
You start running out of everything.
Like, obviously, if you're financially able and you have 4 kids, it's fine.
Sure.
But I just think that when we start popping out a whole bunch of kids, it just gets really, culty when you have a family of
You've got a full volleyball team. Y'all better be going to the Olympics.
It gets a little strange, you know? It's just kind of like, what
are y'all brewing up in the house?
Yeah, what's happening? And, I have friends who come from really big families where they have 4+ siblings. And not everything's ever or like not everything's always hunky-dory. Like there's a lot of internal family issues, not to mention like the oldest one is probably like 10 years older than the youngest one.
Sure.
So then it's just like there's these age gaps and it just makes weird. I just don't think it's necessary.
Yep.
I don't think it's necessary at all. What's another one?
I am a very practical person, so I'm like finances. So let's see. Oh, okay. I'm going to hit on this one because I'm just right in the sauce of it. I started House of Dragons, never watched Game of Thrones. So I shouldn't really be able to speak on this because I'm going to get burned at the stake for this. But I have had no interest in Game of Thrones, and I have loved every second of House of Dragons. Guys, can you hear me? Welcome back. Thanks for that intermission. Can you hear me? So let's do this. House of Dragons is better than Game of Thrones. I really shouldn't be able to speak on this because I've never seen Game of Thrones, but House of Dragons is lighting the hell up right now, man. And I'm only on episode 3. But a lot of stuff's going down.
I love you giving your...
What?
I really love you giving your opinion on something you've watched 3 episodes of and not watched any of the others.
That's just me. I started on Love is Blind, and I was like, this season's already going to be trash. Turn it off. Like, have to put it down and walk away. But I love it so far. And the Targaryens, who are this family, this huge, nice, big royal family who own like all of the land. The girl, long story short, is coming up. Spoiler alert. This girl is the daughter is now in line to become the next heir. And I love that because this was very much back in the day when men
it was
were
back
only,
in no day. It's not a real show.
Well, medieval times. This was back in medieval times, I think. They had dragons, But a lot of the times the men were supposed to take heir of the throne.
I see that, yeah.
So this girl who's like 14 is now coming up, and she's going to be heir of the throne. And I just love it because I'm like, woman power.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
I've never watched a single episode of House of Dragons or Game of Thrones, and my unpopular opinion is I don't like that stuff. I'm not a big fantasy realm girly. I'm just not. I just like that name you said, the Targaryens. Why are we making up words that aren't real? I just can't. And then they travel to Neverland of a, I just can't. I can't do it.
Featherstones. And
yeah. I can't do
Weimaraners.
Yeah. See, what are those?
Insert Weimaraner. Thank you.
He's not going.
It's actually a dog.
It's your turn to read a controversial, unpopular opinion.
I've got one that Becca's gonna hate. Whataburger over In-N-Out. Let's go.
No. In-N-Out. Always over Whataburger.
Okay, why?
because their burgers are better. I cannot tell you how much I cannot stand that Whataburger's burgers just come with pickles and mustard. What is that? Why is that the only, like, that's just what they generically come with? Crazy. At least add ketchup.
Sure.
Also, I think it's because I'm from a West Coast family where In-N-Out has just always been superior. Always.
Mm-hmm. I think it's definitely from someone that's eaten In-N-Out in California versus here in Colorado. It is a different world in California.
Oh my gosh, no, I hate that. It's
They,
not.
the food is different. The ingredients are better.
It's
Like
not.
it's every.
It's literally not. In-N-Out made a
I've
freaking.
tasted them in San Diego.
Same.
Those burgers are like that big compared to here in Colorado. Make your burgers bigger. In-N-Out, make them bigger.
That's why you get a double, because then it's bigger.
In-N-Out's fries are dog shit.
No.
Thank you, Jamie. They
Whataburger's fries are also dog shit. I have never gone to Whataburger and been like, wow, these are fresh fries.
In-N-Out's like the white dog shit though. Like it's like the worst of all dog shit.
No, it's
That's
not.
why people get it
Have
like
you-
double animal style,
That's-
because when the fries hit a temperature of even freezing at all or any chill,
I think their oil is
go
room
bad.
temperature. I don't think they actually
No,
like
it's
turn the
because
oil
they
up
cook
for
it
the
in a
fries.
different oil. They're trying to be healthier. Okay, so they cook it in a different oil. They use sunflower oil.
You're a fast food restaurant.
Wait, Chick-fil-A cooks their food in like
They do peanut
oil. I agree, Jamie. Their fries, as soon as they hit a wind chill, they're trash. No. The only time they're good is if you order them in the store and you sit down and eat them right then and there. That's when the fries are going to be popping. That's when the cheese is going to be melting and the sauce is going to be warmed up. The Whataburger is better. Just laying it down there. Shakes are awesome. Burgers are juicier.
No. Oh, they're not.
Fries hold
I
up better.
literally got a burger from Whataburger the other night that tasted like the bun had been sitting out on the counter for like 10 hours. It was crunchy. Like you could tap it. And
that's
it was
because
making a
Moped
noise.
Steve wasn't making it.
His name's Scooter John. First of all, put respect on his name.
Sorry,
It's Scooter John.
I thought it was Moped
Shout out Scooter John. We love you and we miss you.
We
And
do love you and
wish
miss you.
You worked back at the other location. But no, I don't like Whataburger, and In-N-Out is the best forever. The end. Okay, next opinion. I don't think therapy works for everybody.
Okay, details.
Because I firmly believe that if you don't go into therapy willing to change and willing to be honest with yourself, it's not going to work.
I agree.
And I think that therapy almost becomes bad for some people because they go into therapy and they twist the narrative. Not even twist the narrative, but they just make the narrative seem like they're the one not doing any wrongs. And of course, the therapist kind of like gives advice.
And the therapist doesn't know if you're telling the truth or
Yeah.
not. You know,
Yeah.
they're having to trust.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of people that are like, I started therapy, and I'm like, that's going to go nowhere. Because even just the way you're talking to me, I don't think that you're going to like improve in life on what your therapist says, because you just want someone else to tell you that you're right. Instead of being honest with yourself and accepting that you could be wrong and that you've like made mistakes.
And here's the thing with therapy. You're not going to change, and therapy's not going to change you until you want that.
Yeah.
So you have to go in knowing that that's what you want for yourself. Like you said, you have to want that within your soul. If you go in, like Becca said, and you're just like kind of, hey, I just want somebody to tell me I'm right. You're not getting anything out of that.
Yeah.
And or are you just becoming even a worse person because you're
Right.
just trying to prove that you're right
Yeah. I
all
agree.
the time?
Yep.
I have one. Love is Blind over Love Island.
I don't know. I think I like them both equally because I think that they both have, like, I think they're both there for different reasons. I think that Love Island, like, as much as this previous US season worked out and all the couples are still together, like most of the couples are still together and they're happy, I think Love Island is meant for hot people to go on there and get clout and get Instagram followers and like maybe find someone they like a little bit. Cool. What I hate is Love is Blind has become this thing where people are going on there for clout and Instagram followers and not really wanting to like get married at the end. So it's like ruining like the whole journey.
Experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it's about.
For sure.
I think you're right. I do think that people want to go on Love is Blind just because there's always a villain. There's always somebody that's like looking crazy to the public eye. There's always someone that ends their relationship on a really horrible note. There's just different people, different narratives, right? Different characters that are prevalent to the seasons.
Yeah.
Do I think though that they're both entertaining, and I think Love is Blind just has more, just everything's always happening at once. It's just like so much is happening, whereas Love is Blind is they're kind of like something's happening but then they're sitting around in the villa.
You know about Love Island, they just sit around the villa.
What did I say? Love is
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I
okay,
can
Love
kind of
Island.
see
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I get
they're sitting
that.
around in the
But I also
villa.
feel like a lot of Love is Blind is that too, because like I feel like once they get out of the pods, they're always just sitting there being like, I love you, we're gonna get married, everything's gonna be fine. And it's just like, okay, how many times? Like, I feel like Love is Blind is just love bombing the whole season, which like makes it interesting to watch.
Yeah.
But sometimes Love Island is a little more, I like the challenges that they do on Love Island.
They get them active and like
I like doing that. I think I watch them for different reasons. Like Love Island, just watching hot people be hot.
I will say two things. One, I'm proud of the producers because when Love is Blind first started, like the first season, second seasons, I think the pods were way too long into the series. You know, the pods lasted like 3 episodes.
This season was
or
too
4
long too.
or something.
This season they went 5 episodes.
I know, and I really think that the pods should be pulled back a little bit where you can edit and you can watch her following and see like how they grow. But it needs to be more focused on like what happens outside of the pods, because that's what people want to see is when they start meeting their family and they go on this vacation. But also number 2 is I was standing behind the bar on Saturday night and I just texted Becca and I was like, do you know what I legit just thought about? What if I went on Love is Blind and I was one of the contestants and I thought I had met my forever and the doors open and we're running towards each other and we're hugging each other and you have hot breath. And it just hits me in my face.
That's why, and then
it's a done deal because I've been talking behind a wall.
I responded, then you shouldn't go on Love is Blind because the purpose of Love is Blind is to not care. And then you would care. So I don't think that's the show for you.
Oh, it's not for me. But just speaking contestants wise,
it's a lot to consider.
Sure.
It would be a little stressful. I wouldn't go on it. Mostly because I have trust issues and I'm not going to believe that you love me through a wall. So
for 2 days.
I still don't think my fiance loves me and we're getting married next year. So
Jamie, can you confirm? Do you love her?
Sure do.
How much?
6.
6 out of 10. I'll take it.
He's like, no, out of 100. 6 out of 100. As deep as the oceans.
My last controversial opinion I want to cover is I think dog people are meaner than cat people. And let me paint this picture for you, okay? I have a cat. I love my cat. He's a great cat. When someone, like when I'm talking with somebody and they're like, "Oh, I have a dog." I'm like, "Oh, cute. What kind of dog is it? Let me see a picture." You know, they're like, "Oh, this is my dog. I'm obsessed with them." Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, "Great. Love that for you." And then I'll just be like, "Oh, I have a cat." And they'll go, "I fucking hate cats. I think cats are the worst things on the planet. Why do you have a cat?" And it's just like, why are you attacking me and my cat like that? Like, I was just all
Silas just Jay chilling on a couch right now.
I was all for you and your dog. If that's your personal choice, that's great. But why are you so angry at a cat that you've never met before? He hasn't done anything to you. And that's why I think cat people are accepting of both dogs and cats, and I think dog people are only accepting of dogs.
We too had this discussion, and we kind of came to sum a word up as cat people, just people that own like one cat. That's the only animal. Maybe a little bit introverted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it also just depends. I think that having a companion that is just a companion that's there and you're not forcing to be your companion is a lot different. Because like dog people are like, gotta take my dog to the dog park and I gotta go on a hike and I gotta go do all of this and I gotta take my dog to see my dog's friends. And it's like, why are we doing this? Like, why can't I just sit at home, pet my cat once every 2 hours and be like, "Hey buddy," and then he just goes about his business and I just go about mine.
And it's weird because I don't like people touching me, but I want my dog to just lick me in my eyeballs and all in my face. Like, I need him to love me when I get home. But I'm a dog person. But I've never been mean towards people that have cats. I don't really care. But
swallow it right
but I
into the
can
mic.
see it's like a Subi gang, like the Subaru
I
gang.
just think that dog people who also happen to be dog people. I just think that dog people get a little more aggressive about hating cats, whereas most cat people are just like, okay, that's fine if you want to have a dog, like that's cool.
Yeah.
And dog people are like, one time 20 years ago, a cat,
Clawed my toenail.
not even
My toe.
like a cat scratched my one finger, and now I hate cats. And it's like, that's a bit excessive.
That was me talking to Becca about Silas, her cat. I was like, every time I go over, Silas just claws my whole
No,
hand.
you play with him with unpractical toys like your car keys,
They're cool and
and
shiny.
then your hand's right there, and then he attacks the key and happens to get your hand.
He's a fun cat. Just,
Whereas like when a
yeah.
dog mauls a person, they're like, no, don't put the dog down. It's not
that's
the dog's
where I'm
fault.
like, okay, if a dog absolutely is aggressive, like, yes, that's where I'm.
All right, thanks for joining us for another episode of Girl Yap.
It's been fun.
It's been a good time. You can follow us on the Whiskey Bear and Dance Hall and Saloon Instagram, as well as the Whiskey and Bear and Dance Hall and Saloon Facebook page. And then you can find us on YouTube under Honky Tonk World Podcast. We follow under the Honky Tonk World universe at this point. So you can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcast under Honky Tonk World Podcast.
Yeah, guys.
Okay, bye.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, follow, share. Okay, bye.
Girl,